Hey everybody, 1990, you know the drill. Okay, no screws in this one. It's already been looked at. Something funny under here I can just feel. It feels like a battery top or something. Oh. Okay. Alright. Again, that style I see. Harold Sutterbridge, John Samuels, C. Heggie, Keith, Ryan Labs. I think you'd be asleep by now, Ryan Labs. Cordos, Pedro. Yeah. Kitty Cat Money. What have we got? 2v5's healthy. PP Bus is healthy. Yeah. Why does that have to be not so simple? 107, that's running a little low actually. 107, it should be more like 150. That's on that rail there. I think that's 0.9. Alright. Taking it out, have a look. This isn't standard by any means. I've only got time for one machine tonight, so hopefully I've picked the right machine out. Come on, where's my... What have I done with my spudges? Really, what do I do? Sit on them? Eat them? Throw them in the trash? Normally I've got a bunch of spudges around here. They're just always getting in my way, and now they're nowhere. Well, I guess we'll just take this one. Still kind of weird. Very weird. I see we do have one screw here, probably just a... Okay. This could be another screw somewhere. Oh, and another one. Hey, Didumres. Did I get a chance to look into email with the net names on iPhone boards? Oh, right, yeah, remind me. Forgot about that. Was that the 14 one? Which one was it that I missed? Because I do the 15 and the 16, but I haven't done the 14. Oh, there was something about the fact that we can't change the net names too easily. You have to basically export the board view into a BVR format, and then you can go along and replace those names. Okay, there's a bunch of junk up in here. I'm not liking the look of this one. I think this one's a bit of a dead end. $4 a.m. Yeah, figured it should have been a normal sleep time, but clearly... Oh, great. Oh, look at this. I've now got 2 spudges just show up. Knew they were hiding. Yeah, that's basically end of the road. Liquid damaged. There's some nasty stuff there. That looks very close to end of road for me. Hey, Cypher Labs. Yeah, I'm not liking where that's going. That looks like it's going to hit 6 ohms or something. Yeah, 1.3, 1.4. Anything above 1 and below 100, you got trouble. You're going to play Cyberpunk. Play Cyberpunk or watch Cyberpunk Edge Runners? You can take a trip to the moon. Yeah, that's caked on. going to have to pull that regulator. It hasn't got a hotspot on it, but I don't like what I'm seeing already. This is going to be very marginal at best. If it wasn't so caked in under there, I would be tempted to leave it there because it hasn't got a hot spot on it. But I think I'm asking for trouble one way or another if I leave it there. I think that could have probably survived being washed out, but we're not going to do that. Just verifying our pin ones at the thingamajig there. Let's see what our resistance is now. If we're lucky, it's actually going to still be around about 1. If we're unlucky, it may have risen up. 0.6. Alright, so it's dropped. That 0.6 is coming from somewhere else. It could either be here. Unlikely there. None of those caps really look like they... Oh... Someone's been kerfuffling around here. You see this marks there? That kind of looks fluxy. Oh, look at that. That's been knocked up. Okay. Yay! So I'm just going to pink mark that because it's going to need to be repaired. So I guess I'm going to just pull this cluster and let us hope and pray that our resistance jumps up after we pull that cluster. This will be cluster's last stand. Oh, right, Pedro, you just can't help yourself, can you? Why do I permit you being around here? I really don't know. Son of a gun. I don't know why I care about that, but it offends me if those things melt. So we'll try this again. I shouldn't care one bit, but I do. I guess I just don't like doing more damage than I have to. Sound. Have we really got sound issues? CAG, I would say this one's going to be a data recovery. It's got too much muck. 0.5, that's bad. So at this point I start thinking we have a board level internal board short, unless we can find a capacitor that's on this rail that can be blamed for all this. I mean, point 1 kind of gives me some hope, but not a lot. Might have been YouTube with the sound. Outbound looks good here. There's no shorting between the rails on those pads. Could be one of these. Actually, I think that second one from the front, it's got a defect in it. You can see that discoloration there? That may be an internal defect. I guess we'll take them off and find out. So here we go now. Mr. Ascendo. Well, there may have been a defective cap, but it hasn't changed our outcome. There was definitely a fleck of issue in there. Not good, not good. We're running out of easy options, so to speak. Starting to feel like an internal board short. $10.41. So we're shorted on this rail here. There's all these sort of caps here. They very, very rarely cause any troubles. There may be this pair here. And there was the visual defect on this one. There's a couple here, they'll be under and behind the shielding. There's a few more over here. It'd be very unusual if there's anything going on over here or here. So I guess we're going to peel the stickers off. It's a very unusual if we do get a short with any of the support in the capacitors by the NANDs. It's not to say it can't happen, I'm just saying it's unusual. And of course these are the SanDisk ones, and the SanDisk NANDs are just really bad. 99% of the time, if you've got a hard short, it ends up being one of these. Oh, Miles, you're going to have to send that one through to me. I know you've linked it here, but send it through on the Discord. It's always frustrating when you think you've found a short. Yeah, you got a defect in a capacitor, visual defect, and you think, yay! And then you find it wasn't that. And then you find another one, and you go, yay! And it wasn't that one. So slowly your hopes get crushed. Oh, is it the bug-infested laptop from Let Us Repair or whatever it is, the Dell dude? Oh, that's Thunderbolt. Whoops. Oh well. My bad. I mean, it's a very small possibility that it is one of those supporting large caps around it. At this point, we're basically having to go to a thermal, infrared camera test. I did get your email, by the way, creature. Right, yeah, the Dell's part people. Yeah, but I don't think I have ever had a 1990 with such a low short and no apparent capacitors like the usual capacitors, the suspects, where it is not then the NANDs. I'll be very happy to be wrong, but I have a feeling that it's just going to be another sad tale. Okay, so we're going to rig up our injection and go from there. Creature sounds like it's going to be a whole bunch of software development that I don't have time for. I'm already flat out with everything else at the moment. I mean, I would love to have fun doing that stuff, but yeah, I'm kind of tapped out at the moment. Very tapped out. I have to do right-handed soldering. Yeah. Yep. What is this, J5 cents? Ready-made scripts. Yeah, see, the thing is, you make it sound like it's just a quick, simple 5-minute thing. It never is. It never is. So, no, I'm not going to take your bait. And I'm not kidding when I'm say I really don't have time anymore. I would love to, but I have no time for anything right now. I mean, I'm doing this when really I should be doing other things, but got to get it done. Good idea to take the solder off the board. It's going to be a bit warmer. Okay, what are we going to go for? We're going to go 1 volt, 1 amp. That's all we need. Let's see. Spent 2 hours yesterday to get OpenCV to read a simple 7-segment display. Yeah, exactly. You get my point. I mean, it'd be nice. Yeah, every now and then I'm going to be wrong about that, and is going to be just a, well, look at that, it all worked. But 99% of the time, nope, that 5-minute thing turns into a huge fiasco. As much as I wish it didn't. The kernels. Okay, that's coming up. Tell you what, creature, I wish I could do more of things because I want to, as opposed to because I have to. I don't even get to, I don't do any hobbies anymore. Nothing. Gotta get the house paid off for. Anyway, okay, so here we go. Naturally, this section. Did you already die on me? Okay, you're still running. Hey, Ricardo DeSena. Let's see. Okay, let's power up. Yep, there you go. NAND is alive. Frickin' dead SanDisk bastards. Nothing ever changes with these boards. Dead. Very, very dead. Paul has grown up. Paul was grown up a long time ago. Alright, well, that was a nice, wonderful waste of time. Indeed, cactus board. Alright, given that it's... what's the time? It's later than I want, but we'll dive into another one quickly, since this one was a great big fat disappointment. Oh, flippin' hell on my leg. What have we got? 20 volts, half amp, Apple logo displays, device boots to log in but stops charging. What? That's weird. Boots but stops charging, 2338. Kind of feels like it's just going to be a bad battery, that one. Coffee damage, no. Screen connector on motherboard not working. Tested 3 screens, none have worked. This is a 2337. Yeah, we're going to roll with this one. I genuinely don't know what I'm going to be seeing on this one. Stay. I'm expecting those cables to drop on my face. Oh, another one that's already had the screws taken out. Yep, all of them. Let's see. Disconnect the battery. It's probably going to be something dumb like a lid sensor. Actually, I should really plug this in and see what it does. Just trying to see if we've got... I think we've got a display there. Swear I can see a user login. No, maybe it's just a thumbprint. That's weird. Yeah, we've just got this beaming across here, but they say tested 3 screens, none have worked. It sounds like they're either using the wrong screens, but basically there's no vertical drive, it seems. It looks like it's compressed, but it's hard to say whether it's compressed or just jumbled and not running all the way to the bottom. Does it display? Yeah, unfortunately for external display on, you can't do it on 2337s as far as I remember. They don't have the GPU thing to do it. Anyway, we'll see what's going on. We'll have a look around the display connector, the display drive electronics, see what's gone wrong, if anything. So we know backlight works, we know we are getting some data. It must be getting communications, otherwise it wouldn't activate the display. Yeah, interesting. Hey Paul, how? It could be a damaged SoC. Not much you can do about it if it's got a damaged SoC. It'd be funny if they're using the wrong flex or something like that. It is worth checking, because sometimes they can look the same, but their signals are routed differently. Some people find that out the hard way when they try to plug in a new display or something like that, and it's not of the exact model. It looks the same, it connects the same, but then when you plug it in, it burns. Okay, we've got activity going on in there. I'll have to check that. Hello phone, what can I do for you, phone? Thank you very much to Domrez, giving me my per video well done, good behavior contribution. So this is a 821 2721. You'll notice most or all what do you call it? Most or all cables are 821 prefix. 821, what was it? 02721. It does appear to be for 2337. And it appears to be also compatible with the 2179, and I'm suspecting they mean 32, but they've written it as 1392. So I'm just taking a general observation of the board. I'm really not sure what I'm going to be looking for in particular. We will take that off and have a look. Maybe they've mangled some pins, or maybe there's a bit of junk. Overall, that's looking pretty good. Yeah, it's straight up pristine. It's not exactly what you'd expect. Bit of scratchy going on here. Something's been going on up there too, but it might be just them trying to dig around and lift up that lock tab. Oh, this is the 2899 board. This could be their problem. Okay, normally the 2337s, they have a 2016 boards, but this is a 2899 board. It's a different board, and we don't have a board view for it, so that might be their issue. I'm just going to take the connector off. I have a feeling this actually probably hasn't been removed, but I can't be 100% sure. But yeah, I'm thinking now it's a different board. Well, the replacement screen is marked as a 2337, but like I said, I don't know if that covers this particular variant of the 2337, which we very rarely see. I don't really know what the significance of this model variation is. It does have a different audio section up here. So it could well be that the signaling is different, but then you'd think that would have been noted. Well, we'll pop the... I don't like to do this, but we'll pop the heatsink off. Oh, what's this, Pedro? Okay, Pedro actually knows a lot about screen replacements and things like that for the MacBook. So, are you saying, Pedro, LCD is the same as the 2016? Okay, thank you, Pedro. So you are useful to have around on the odd occasion. What I want to know is what happened to their original screen. Was it physically damaged? Did it just die? You know, what's the history behind that? Fairly sure I don't have more than what I've already described on my job sheet. 2520. This one's taken a while to get to me. 2520. Replacement screens have been tested with separate devices and they are definitely working. Screen connector on motherboard not working. I guess I don't know why they're saying that it's not working, given that they clearly haven't been able to actually just swap it out or something. What I'm doing here is I've taken away that audio daughterboard connector, and I just want to see if it does come up behaving without that cable, because that cable can look perfectly good and then have problems inside. I've had a few where they're like that. But yeah, it would have been nice to have an explanation of what happened to the original. It's not a flex gate in this case. It's just simply, it's like it doesn't understand the data being sent to it. I do notice that it's got a crush damage. Down on the bottom here, there's crush damage. I wonder if someone 3 times has... No, wait, they take them off and test them. Anyway, I don't know if you can see that, but you can see the crushing of the rubber seal. So I don't know how they're managing to do that. Okay, so we'll have a look under the CPU. I can also verify this display. I'll get one of my reference boards. Hey, this one's from Pedro. A reference board from Pedro. I really don't need to put everything in, but I'm going to anyway. Antonio. Interesting, that speaker cut off momentarily too soon. And we do not have a display. Did you hear it? It was like there was a slight pop at the end of it. And we have the same business. The display is shit. Yeah. Look at that. It's doing it. It's different, but it's doing it. Yeah, it certainly feels like a screen. Alright, so what I can do, and this is actually risky, I can take their board and put it into my test chassis. Now it's risky because if that board is doing something to the displays, even though they say they've taken the displays off and checked them elsewhere, it could just damage mine. And I've only got one spare 2337, so if this goes bang, then someone's going to be in trouble. Unfortunately, it's going to be me. It's just unfortunate that there aren't really any other options. Okay, 2337. Of course, they are going to lament about the fact that they tested the screen on another machine, but I can't explain that one away. But all I know is that it certainly didn't work on that board. Maybe it's a firmware issue. yeah, maybe these screens that we just tested, maybe it needs a different firmware. Yeah, works perfect. It's the display. Yep, the display. Alright, well, that was a $75 lesson for them. Maybe they got a bad batch. I don't know. I really don't know. All I know is that this logic board works fine on a genuine, original Apple 2337 display. Nothing more I can say. There's nothing wrong with that board, which makes me glad I did not take that heatsink off. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what's wrong. I mean, the fit and everything seems okay. They look like the ones I get from my supplier. So I don't know. I'm really not sure what to think. Yeah, the backlight runs fine. It just... I can see the data up the top. The backlight's okay. Are they installing with the wrong screws? Yeah, there's bits of damage here. Things like, yes, small things like that. They can make a world of difference. And there's a crimp. There, look at that. That could explain maybe why it works when they test it on another display. But then something like that, I would expect as you change the angle of the display, it should have changed its behavior. It doesn't feel like that's cracked through though. That feels there like it's been repaired. Maybe I'm wrong. Probably wrong. I'm just trying to get an idea of what I can report back to them. Oh, look at that. But that's camera or backlight, but that's definitely pinched there. Yeah, I don't know if you could see that, but there's definitely, you can see that pinch on the side. So again, I don't know if that's really the issue. I would have expected to see something more along here. Couple it with the fact that the sealing, that rubber edge seal, that was also looking a bit iffy. So we may have an issue with the installer. But like I said, they have tested it. this corner worries me. The other weird thing though is that it's a horizontal defect and not a vertical defect, so usually if you actually have a faulty LCD panel, it tends to present itself as a vertical defect. Not always. Maybe the electronics that drive the vertical drive have been damaged. So many possibilities. So what I'm going to do is I'll put this back in and I'll see if moving the display through its full sort of open closed span changes the nature of the band. That was pinch marks, creature pinch marks. I can see how it would look like burn marks, but it was definitely pinch marks in this case. Either way, the point is it's not something that's on the logic board. So they're going to have to go back and review what they have done with their testing in terms of how they managed to get through 3 different test screens and found they worked okay on other machines. Now, what were the other machines? That's the other question. Like I said, it could still be a weird firmware thing, some sort of EDID reference that's missing. $18W, yeah, I should be getting micro sorted out, but I thought I'll just finish up here so that then that's it for the night. We didn't really do any soldering tonight, other than taking off dead parts. So, bit of a complete contrast from last night where we had 2 for 2. Tonight we're more a quarter for 2. Okay. Yeah, Miles, that could often be the case. Yeah, the tech might have said, hey, I tried the screen on another thing and it was fine. So I do not like how aggressive these scrub marks are here. It is weird I don't get a bong. Why do I... Oh, yeah, why don't I get a bong? I got it on the other machine, but not on this one. It can't be the daughter board because we've already tested it without. There's no change in the behavior. So I don't know, I'm sort of 50-50. It could be a bad display, or it could be that there is some sort of EDID firmware code or something that isn't translating. But it's kind of weird considering this is one of the more advanced boards, like the newer type board. So I would expect, if anything, for that board to have it. It's very strange. The startup chime can be turned off, but the point was that it chimed when it was in the other chassis, but it didn't chime in this one. That's a whole different set of issues. Let me just try something. I'm just going to try with all things disconnected other than the display itself. I could try a SMC. Okay, yep. So we're just gonna. Great. Yeah. Speakers actually can influence things, frighteningly enough. Okay, so yeah, daughter board's disconnected. Which one of these is backlight and which one's camera? One of these is backlight, one of them's camera. I don't know which. 50-50. Right side cam. Did I use that display cable? That's actually a good point. Did I? Okay, right side camera, disconnect right side. Oh, right side's backlight. God damn it, you guys. Useless. Make up your mind. It's intriguing. It actually hasn't booted. Oh, that's because, yeah, okay, that's because the trackpad's disconnected. Okay. Oh, with the Flex though, my test display, test board has its own cable, and it still didn't work on that. Same thing. Alright. Yeah, so by the fact that the test board, which worked fine, and the fact that their board with their cable worked fine, both in my known working assembly, and both didn't work in that, eliminates the cable. But thank you for thinking that anyway. It could easily have been something I overlooked. Alright. Yeah, that's a dud. So yeah, they're gonna have to do some soul searching because it is definitely a screen issue. Now, like I said, it could be just an incompatibility with the firmware, the EDID codes or something, and maybe the display is actually just fine, but it requires a certain update level on the board itself. The board itself needs to be running the right update code. So I'm going to leave it at that. Sorry it wasn't as interesting as last night, but it's just the way it goes, isn't it? So I'm out of here. Thank you all for watching. Might be back tomorrow, I don't know. But until then, you all take care, and I'll see you later.